Morning, everyone. Good morning to our about-to-be seniors, juniors, and sophomores. Welcome to the return of Last Chapel. Last Chapel strikes back. Last Chapel 2, the revenge of the killer chapel. But let's think about it as the first chapel, because this will be the group who is in Fuller on the first day of the new year, next year. So I want to start by congratulating all the students who performed in the theater showcase last night. You guys were amazing in so many different kinds of performances, and I especially enjoyed the scene where a genuine fight broke out over one of you forgetting your lines until I was about to jump out of the seats to intervene until Mr. Kane pretended to. The scene was called Fooled You, and you totally fooled me. Thank you, guys. That was great, great fun. So I only have a few minutes to speak to you this morning before you head out to some short classes and advisory time and then to your summer break, where I hope for you this, that there is some fulfilling work or play, some laziness, some genuine boredom where you have to figure out something to do. If these are good for you, then some time with family, friends, and pets, some harvesting of fresh food from gardens, some side-by-side rides through fields, some stone fruit, some lemonade, some peace and quiet and comfort and relief. I hope that you will do some things that help prepare you for next year, so practicing your instrument or training for a sport or reading some books. Know that we will be here this summer. We have a lot to do. We have a lot to work on and address and review, and the summer months are when we do that. We think about what's gone right this year and what could and should be better, what we consider doing more of or less of, what we should aim to fix, what kind of place we want the SJA you return to next year to be, and how to make that real. Whatever kind of year you've had this year, the wonderful thing about how school years happen is that we have this moment to breathe and think and dream as individuals and as part of a larger community about who we want to become and what we need to do to make that happen. About 3 weeks ago, my father, who was 93 and not well, passed away. He and we were fortunate that we had the chance to do those things that you hope to do to bring a long and worthwhile life to a close. You reconcile with your son, reassure yourself that your children and grandchildren are happy with good prospects, and say things that you've been meaning to say. In my dad's case, this was arranging to make a phone call with my birth mother, whom we've known for many years, and he wanted to call and thank her for her sacrifice and tell her that he believed that adopting his children was the best thing that he did with his life. But he did other very good things, including running a pharmacy down the street from the house where I grew up, where he had a very simple philosophy that he repeated to us again and again when my brother and I started stocking the shelves and manning the registers. He said, "The customer is the most important. Not the customer is always right, because that's not true, but the customer is the most important." And that seems obvious for a business, but what he meant by that was that the person that you're serving, the person in front of you, should become the most important person in your world for however long that lasts. That you need to listen carefully to what they're saying or asking and do your best to serve them as well and as thoughtfully as you can. For my dad, that meant delivering medication to elderly patients in the middle of the night or driving miles to where he could get a medication he didn't stock. It meant incredible kindness and care. The joy that my father took in serving people affected the arc of my own life, particularly the idea that the person in front of you should have your full presence, your attention, your listening ear, your compassion, and your respect, and that no matter who you're faced with and what you're faced with, you should try to help. So this summer, I'll be thinking about this and many other things, how I can do them better, how we can all be here in the best ways for one another, because that's what I want for all of us at SJA. Have beautiful summers, everybody, and see you next year. Faculty.